Hi there, my name is Danielle Jershevsky and I'm the North America editor for Labels and Labeling magazine. And right now I'm here at Label Expo Europe 2015. I'm at the Hewlett-Packard booth and I'm here with Mike Ferrari, and he is with Ferrari Innovation Solutions. He spent 32 years at Procter & Gamble doing research and development for them in the packaging sector. And we just want to talk a little bit about the evolution of digital adoption within the labels and packaging market. The technology has really been ramped up a lot in the last few years. We've seen a number of brands adopt campaigns that are making impacts in consumer communities around the world, and Mike's going to tell us a little bit more about that in detail.
Well, Danielle, thanks for coming out to Label Expo. This is such an exciting show. There's so many more people and the conversations are really different. So I can tell that the evolution continues because of the conversations as well as some of the products that we'll probably talk about here in a moment.
So I think, why don't we start off with CocaCola? They're a brand that everybody in the world knows and familiar with, and they adopted a unique campaign initially, and they're already on a third campaign and probably already have a few things in the works for the future. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, I think the marketing campaign of Coca-Cola is a great example of leveraging the technology to the fullest. And looking at the evolution of what Coca-Cola has done, starting with the very first campaign of personalized names which went around the world. We all know this one, we've seen this one, it's been in 50 countries. But beyond that, after you play that for a few times, what Coca-Cola then did is really use the extraordinary campaign using mosaics. And the use of mosaics, which then throws an algorithm to create more than 2 million different unique designs, really took this to a new level. So beyond that, which is now going around the world, we now see something that has just launched, and that is personalized Coke, where each consumer can create a new exciting image on the bottle designed by the consumer for the consumer, which is just launched in several countries in Europe and the Baltic states.
Let's talk a little bit about why this is so relevant. And one of the main things about the printing industry within packaging is that we're used to conventional technologies. We're used to a conventional supply chain, and things are changing quickly. We live in a social media world. We live in a world where consumers want to engage on the regular, and they want to have personalized products that relate to them and what they're passionate about. What are you seeing as far as brands now that the Coca-Cola projects have had such a great impact globally? What are you seeing the brands talk about now? There used to be a little bit of confusion around what was possible, and the discussion seems to have changed.
Well, it certainly has. That's a very good point, because Coca-Cola really raised the sea level of what's possible. Such an iconic brand has certainly opened the eyes of many people, and now what we're seeing are other large multinationals. Frito-Lay has launched in the US the Summer of Fun campaign. Pernod Ricard launched a Father's Day present on spirits. We have Ahava here to your right, which has launched mosaics in the folding carton area for beauty care products from the Dead Sea. So what we're finding is taking the omni-channel shopper of retail, online, and social media buying, the ability to use digital printing in order to impact each three of those channels is becoming a great enabler for the marketing world that we live in today.
And let's talk a little bit too, as well as you know, what digital printing is capable of printing on. I think initially when we started talking about digital in this world, the low-hanging fruit was the label market. But in the last couple of years, we've seen new introductions by HP that allow them to break into other markets that have longer runs and different types of materials. How about flexible packaging and folding cartons?
Great question, and starting with your question of the label market, that is really now going mainstream. I'm really seeing people come out from brands. I'm seeing people come out from printers that have never really been interested or been putting off. They can no longer put it off. And even in the wine label industry in the US, 65% of wine labels in US are printed digitally. So labels are going mainstream. But now what's happened, the exciting story of a year ago when HP launched wide format in web and wide format in sheet, we're starting to see folding cartons now starting to accelerate. We're starting to see flexible packaging accelerate. And in fact, the Frito-Lay program of Summer of Fun was done now on the new wide format. It wasn't possible before.
One thing that you mentioned to me here as well is that some of these projects that have been so successful globally are capturing the attention of other global brands, and you've had a few of them come in and talk to you about what their goals are and what their inspirations are as far as applying this technology. What is your message to brand owners, brand managers, and their teams as far as figuring out what to do with digital and how to really leverage the technology to their best abilities?
Great question again. I would say that I've got two messages. The first is on the cost side for purchases. For purchases, it's to look at system savings, because while one cost may go up with digital printing, many more costs will go down, and so therefore the overall should be managed, not just one aspect of cost. And so system savings is a real big deal. For example, managing inventory with cost is a big deal, and also an environmental story. Second, my message would be for marketing. For marketing, it's the book has not been yet written on the new rules of marketing. And so therefore, how to engage marketers in an omni-shopper channel right now becomes very important and very doable in digital printing. And so it's get started with small trials and learn, and that will allow you to get into bigger and wider programs. You can start on a store level, you can start on a city level, because it's easy to do. The barrier of entry is much lower in digital.
And I think if I had a message to share as well, it's about collaboration within your own team. So, making sure the brand manager and the marketing team, procurement, the supply chain stakeholders, possibly consumer insights, that all of these members within a team are involved, especially from the very beginning when we're trying to look at what brand message will apply for that particular brand.
Well said, and all that really leads to the sum of it all is really getting to a whole new reinvention of the workflow. And so it's not just about digital printing, it's also about a digital workflow. So ultimately, nothing comes out into the analog world. That's the ultimate goal.
Excellent. And so we'll kind of wrap up here in a little bit, but one of the other questions too, right? So printing is just one part of delivering a label or a package. Finishing is what really makes it what it is. And we're starting to see some evolution as far as new suppliers coming into the marketplace to facilitate that, because we haven't had an opportunity to do short-run flexible packaging or short-run folding cartons yet. What are you starting to see?
Well, in terms of a supply chain reinvention, I'm starting to see entrance into pre-press and software that really enable even web to print. I'm starting to see digital finishing. So again, it's not just about printing, but it's also about post-print. And those different elements are starting to tie in together, many of which are partners of HP.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. It's great to see some of these products here on the shelf, and to see a brand like Coca-Cola, continually evolving. Even within the same year, they're bringing out different products that are utilizing digital printing. So thank you.